One of the most common buzzwords today on the internet, all over social media, is a thread lift. What is a thread lift? How does it work? What's done? All right, so let's get down to the skinny. First of all, before we jump into what's thread lifts, I have to tell all potential viewers of this video, as well as potential clients, everybody on the internet, whoever's watching this video. So I have no skin in this game. I'm not paid by thread lift companies. I don't have any financial disclosures, any of that. So here is the bottom line, what my opinion, as well as my experience with thread lifts have been. So over the last probably 15 to 20 years, there have been numerous marketing terms that have come into this realm of facial rejuvenation. There have been companies like Lifestyle Lift, there have been other companies, Quick Lift, Rapid Lift, Band-Aid Lift. All of these are basically marketing terms that have been brought into this industry. Why? Well, there's one of the common things that almost every human being wants is they want to look younger. Ponce de Leon was searching for the fountain of youth, so it's been around forever. So trying to look younger, refresh oneself, there's definitely a market for this. So the industry peoples, or people who are driving this industry, have really come in with a lot of marketing terms. So we got to kind of cut the crap on a lot of the marketing terms. Here are basically some postulates, I believe, that work in this category. First of all, there is no quick fix. I mean, everybody wants a one stitch, one fix type of thing. That really doesn't exist. Thread lift is the next evolution in this. What a thread is basically it looks like a piece of barbed wire. So it's like a little suture, and it's got little barbs on it. It's inserted, and basically it's pulled up. So when it's pulled up, it pulls the tissue, and the barbs catch the surrounding tissue, and therefore prevent the tissues from falling down. In theory, this sounds fantastic. However, we need to recognize that a little thread is not going to suspend the entire face. When we're doing facelifts, we have noticed that when we do these minimal quick lifts or whatever, doing just a few sutures in that muscle layer is not enough to truly handle longevity in terms of facial rejuvenation. Therefore, a little barbed wire just isn't going to cut it. It gives you kind of a quick little pick-me-up, makes you feel good. However, it isn't going to stand the test of time. Now, next little section, my personal experience. When these thread lifts came out, I was definitely inquisitive. I thought, wow, this is great. And I actually tried it out on a few patients. And what I found was exactly what I just told you. A, it doesn't last. I think it actually causes a lot more bruising and swelling. Number three, the other thing is I actually had a few of the threads get infected. And which almost never happens in a real facelift. So overall, my experience with thread lifts have been poor. Now, being a facelift surgeon and doing a lot of facelifts, what I have noticed is another aspect. So a lot of patients come in to me having had a thread lift, disappointed with the results, and saying, hey, Dr. Authray, what can I do to really rejuvenate my face? And we end up going down the road of doing a facelift on these people. One of the things I've noticed as I've opened the tissue planes on these patients is that the tissue planes are not native, naive tissue planes like you would expect in someone who's never had surgery. So even though the manufacturers of these thread lifts tell you, hey, it works great, it lifts the tissues, the sutures are actually dissolvable, there's no risk, what I have noticed is as I'm trying to dissect the tissue planes when actually trying to give you a more permanent alternative, those tissue planes are not virgin. There is some scarring that is caused by these barbed wires, which makes doing a facelift more difficult than it would be in a native, naive, virgin type patient. So what's my holistic view on this? First of all, any person who says, hey, a thread lift totally fixed me, most likely is not a candidate for a true suspension procedure. Now, patients who really need a suspension procedure, thread lift is not going to fix them. In those patients, if they end up getting a thread lift, almost certainty those patients are going to be unhappy. They're going to come back and say, hey, it didn't last, I paid a lot of money, and now I need this fixed. And now the sad part about this is the fact that when you take care of those patients, their surgery is truly going to be more expensive than if we had just done a facelift from the get-go. Because A, they would have paid for the thread lift, which isn't cheap. I mean, some of these thread lifts I've seen are in excess of $3,000 to $5,000. And then B, now the tissue planes are not virgin, so we're actually going to be charging you more to do the facelift. So it's one of those things, you might as well do it right, do it the first time right, and then enjoy the results. I hope this has been really informative. This is my quick take on thread lifts.